Good morning. Today we are discussed about C input output files. How the input function, how the output function to be executed in C. Already you say input. Input means to to feed some data into a program. An input can be given in the form of a file or from the command line in C. Programming provides a set of built-in functions to read the given input and feed into the program as per requirement. What is the input? Input means feed some data into a program. An input can be given in the form of file or the form of command line. C program provides a set of built-in functions to read the given input and feed into the program as per the requirement. When we say output, input means to feed some data into program. An input can be given in the form of file or from the command line. When we say output, it means to display some data on screen. But that output says it means to display some data on the screen or a printer or any file. C program provides a set of built-in functions to output the data on the computer screen, as well as to save it in a text or binary files. It means what the output means to display some data on the screen, printer or any files. Programs provide a set built-in function to output the data on this computer screen, as well as to save it in a text or binary files. Generally files. These standard files of C programs has different ways. C programming treats all the devices as files. So devices such as the display are addressed in the same way as files, and the following some files are automatically opened when a program executes to provide access to the keyboard and the screen. Generally standard we have some files we have to given the output into the screen, or it is taken from the input to the side. Some you have a standard files, standard input. This is a standard file name. What are the operation is the file pointer. Standard in. What is this taken? It is taken from a keyboard. Standard file from the output. It is a standard file. What the standard file? What the file pointer do? std or out. Std out. What the device is given is device screen. Standard error. This is a standard file. What the file operator? It is std error. It is also device is the your screen. The file pointers are the means to access the file for reading and writing purpose. This section clearly gives the read values from the screen and how to print result on the screen. This way you are given the input and output files of on this manner. Standard input and output files. It given some information. The get character and put character functions. Generally first we can discuss is a get character and put character. The int dot get character void within a function reads the next available character from the screen and return it is an integer. The function reads only a single character at a time. What is the get character? If you generally, what is the get character? Get character is a function read the next available character from the screen and returns it is an integer. The function reads only a single character at a time. You can use this method in the loop in case you want to read more than one character from the screen. The get character operation function reads the next available character from the screen and it returns it as an integer. The function reads only a single character at a time. You can use the files methods in the loop in case you want to read more than one character from the screen. If you want to read one character from the screen, at that time you are using the get character. Next available of character to be displayed on that monitor, that means that screen. The int dot put character in bracket int c function puts the passed character on the screen and returns the same character. The put character or put character function puts the password character on the screen and returns the same character. This function puts only a single character at a time. You can use this method in the loop in case you want to display more than one character on the screen. What are the put character? The put character function puts the passed character on the screen and returns the same character. The function puts only single character at a time. You can use this method in case you want to display more than one character on the screen, and that you have given some displaying to the character. For consider what is the put character and character in the simple example. Include stu.h into main function, open brace started, into c, printf, enter a value, colon, within the double quotation, these are all. Printf function is completed, ended with a semicolon. C is equal to get character, get function, ended with a semicolon, printf within a double quotation \n, you entered colon, double quotation close. Your printf function is over, ended with semicolon. Put character, chr in the bracket c, ended with semicolon, return 0. This is a simple program on that one. You can see what the operation to be performed on the screen. When the above code is compiled, and executed, it waits for you to input some text. When you enter a text and press enter, the line program proceeds and reads only a single character and displaying. And that output a enter value, this is a test. You enter the t. These are some input output, get character and put character functions. These are put character and get character functions. It reads the text available from the character screen, that is a get character. Function put the passed character on the screen and return the same character, it is a output. Input to display, it's a fed from the keyboard. then you get character, then you can go to the another functionality, that is the scanf and printf. It is a very important. What is the scanf and what is the printf? The int scanf constant character star format functions read the input from the standard input stream stdin and scans that input according to the format provided. The int printf constant character then a star format functions write the output to the standard output stream std out and produce the output according to the format provided. The format can be a simple construction constant string, but you can specify %s, comma, %d, comma, say %f, etc. To print or read strings, integer, character or float respectively. There are many of other formatting options available, which can be used based on requirements. Which can be based on availability of functions. In C language has a standard library that allows input and output in a program. The std standard input output library in C that has methods for the input and output. In a scanf function, the scanf method in C reads the value from the console as per the type specified. You have general syntax. General syntax scanf within a double quotation, curly braces, scanf function within a double quotation %x within double quotation closed comma, ampersand or address variable of x type, bracket is closed, where %x is the format specifier in C. It is a way to tell the compiler what type of data is available. This is the syntax format. Scanf bracket within the double quotation %x double quotation close comma, ampersand variable of x type, where x is the format specifier in C. It is a way to tell the compiler what type of data is to be stored. And the address is the address operator in C, which tells the compiler to change the real value of this variable stored at the address in the memory. In this way, the scanf function to be run on the screen. What is the syntax? It is a very important. You are perfect in the syntax, the program to be run. Scanf bracket started within a double quotation %x double quotation closed comma, address variable of x type, bracket close, added with semicolon, where x is the format specifier. It is a way to tell the compiler what type of data is available. What type of data is available. And address is the address operator in which C tells the tells the compiler to change the real value of this variable stored at this address in the memory. Then we go to the printf statement. What is the printf? The printf method in C prints the value passed as the parameter to it on console screen. What is the printf? The printf method in C prints the value passed at the parameter to it on the console screen. Similarly, the syntax of the same, but minimum changes on that. Printf bracket started within a double quotation %x double quotation completed comma variable of x type, where %x is the format specifier in C. It is a way to tell the compiler what type of data is available in a variable. Where x is the format specifier in C, it is a way to tell the compiler what type of data in variable. Here, address is the address of operator C, which tell the compiler to change the real value of this variable stored at the address the memory. Address in the memory. How to take input and output basic types in C? How to take input and output basics of type in C. The basic type in C includes types like int, float, character, double, etc. In order to input or output the specific type, the caps in the above syntax is changed with the specific format specifier of this type. Depend upon the basic type includes types like integer, float, character, double, etc. In order to input or output of the specific type, the caps in the above syntax is changed with the specified format specifier of this type. This general syntax of the two output of these are input or output of these are generally integer. You can go to the what is the integer. In case of you put into the integer data type on that one, on this change into integer, it replaced with a previous x %x with depend upon that data type. Input, if for example you are put in the input screen, and that you are given to the this way scanf function to be started within a double quotation %d double quotation closed comma ampersand or address variable into variable function over scanf function is over within closed within a ended with a semicolon. Similarly, if you want to display the printf statement, on that one same you have previous one printf within bracket started within a double quotation %d double quotation closed comma into variable bracket is closed and ended with a semicolon. These two are, one is the input and another one is the output statements. And similarly, we have go to the output statement in the scanf and the printf. Similarly, we have. Then you have go to the floating point numbers. Floating point numbers. Then you go through same manner. What are the input form function? In case of your floating point numbers, input scanf bracket started within a double quotation percentage of double quotation closed comma ampersand address float variable bracket closed ended with a semicolon. In case of similar way, you can go through output printf bracket started within a double quotation percentage of comma float variable ended with a semicolon. This way the input floating points to be confirmed. Floating point values to be confirmed. In case of integers, character, float, and that way you have output function of float values to be It should be noted in the scanf expert input in the same format as you provided percentages percentage d, which means you have to provide the input values. In case of percentages means that is the string functions. If you provide the string or integer, then it will be assumed as a wrong input. Secondly, the reading of scanf steps recording shown as to specific manner. These are some then you are going to the output of string functions. What are doing in scan? The advanced type in C includes a type like a strings. In order to input or output the string type, the X in the above syntax is changed within the percentages. If you want to put in the string functions on that one, you are just put into the percentages. In previously you are percentage d, percentage f. Then if you want to display and that is input and output, you are giving that percentages. The syntax for input and output of for strings as the input is percentage s within a double quotation close comma string variable. The scanf function is completed, then ended with semicolon. Similarly, the output that is a printf statement, printf bracket started within a double quotation percentage s comma string variable ended with semicolon. This way the string function to be executed. The string function to be executed. Once again, you see that when you say input means it fits some data into a program. An input to be given in the form of file or from the command line. C program provides a set of built-in functions to read the given input and fed into the program as a requirement. When we say it means to display some data on the screen, printer or any of the files in C program provides a set of built-in functions to the output. The data on the computer screen as well as to save it in the text or binary files. The standard input, that is the standard STD and keyboard, it is given from the keyboard. Standard output from the STD out, it is given from the screen. It is given to display on the screen. Standard error display onto the STD error or your screen. Then you go to the next topic, that is the file IO. file IO. File IO statement. We are going to the next file IO statements. The last chapter in mains, that is standard input output device, is handled by C program language. In this one, you are covered the C programs can create, open, close text or binder files of their data storages. A file represents a sequence of bytes. A file represents a sequence of bytes regardless of it being a text file or binary file. C program language provides access on high-level functions as well as low-level voice functions, and also calls to handle file on your storage device. These points were discussed in the IO files. A file represents sequence of bytes regardless of being a text file or binary file in C program language. Provides access on high-level functions as well as low levels. Calls to handle file on your devices. These are discussed in the files concept. These are different files that are create, open, close a text or binary files and their storages. First we are going to you can see is the file fopen function. First we can discuss the fopen function. To create a new file or to open an existing file, this call will initialize an object of the file. This call will initialize an object of the file, type file, which contains all the information necessary to control this stream. The prototype of this function you are discussed in the syntax man. File star open. Syntax of the file open. File star fopen. Bracket started. Constant character star f file name, comma, constant character star mode, function to be closed, ended with a semicolon. Here file name is a string literal, which you will use to name your file, and access mode can have one of the following values. And these are different file names. Once again, a syntax of file star fopen, constant with a bracket started, constant character star file name, comma, constant character star mode, bracket closed with ended with semicolon. Here file name is the string literal. It will use to name your file and access mode in the different manners. Mode of descriptions. We have some. What is the mode and descriptions? When you are given the R opens an existing text file for reading purpose only. In case of R opens an existing text file for reading purpose. R opens an existing text file or for reading purpose. W opens a text file for writing. If it does not exist, then a new file is created. Here your program will start writing content from the beginning of the file. W opens a text file for writing. If it does not exist, Then a new file is created. New file is created. Your program will start writing document content from the beginning of the file. Third one is the A. Opens a text file for writing in appending mode. If it does not exist, then a new file is created. Here your program will start appending content in the existing file content. What is the A function? A opens a text file for writing an appending mode. If it does not exist, then a new file is created. Here your program will start appending content in the existing file content. Then go to the fourth one. R plus open a text file for both reading and writing. What is the R? R plus opens a text file for both reading and writing functions. R files for reading and writing. Then you go to the next one. W plus opens a text file for both reading and writing. It first truncates the file to 0 length if it exists, otherwise creates a file if it does not exist. W plus opens a text file for both reading and writing. It first truncates the file to 0 length if it exists, otherwise creates a file if it does not exist. A plus. Now we can go to the next one is the A plus. Opens a text file for both reading and writing. It creates the file if it does not exist. Open a text file for both reading and writing. It creates the file if it does not exist. Reading will start from the beginning, but writing can only be appended. A plus opens a text file for both reading and writing. It creates the file. If it does not exist, the reading will start from the beginning, but writing can only be appended. Opens a text file for both reading and writing. It creates the file. If it does not exist, the reading will start from the beginning, but writing can only be appended. If you are going to handle binary files, then we will see some modules access instead of the some files. Within a double quotation RB, double quotation comma, double quotation WB comma, double quotation AB comma, double quotation RB plus comma, within a double quotation R plus B, double quotation comma, double quotation WB plus double quotation over comma, within a double quotation W plus B, double quotation closed comma, within double quotation AB plus double quotation comma, double quotation A plus B, double quotation closed. This way the opening a files. You can use the fopen function to create a new file to open an existing file. This will initialize an object of the file, which means contains all the information necessary to control the stream files. Stream files. Then you go to the closing file. Then you are going to the closing file. To close a file, use the fclose function. This prototype of this function, int fclose file star fp function is closed, ended with semicolon. The fclose function returns a 0 on success or EOF if there is an error in closing this file. The function actually flushes any data still pending in the buffer to the file, closes the file and releases any memory used for a file. The EOF is a constant defined in the header file stdio.h. There are various functions to provide by a C standard library to read and write a file. Character are in the form of fixed strings. What is the closing file? To close the file, use the fclose function. The prototype of this function is int fclose file star fp. The fclose in bracket minus function returns 0 on success or EOF. If there is an error in closing a file, the function actually flushes any data still pending in the buffer to the file. Closes the file and releases any memory used for file. The EOF is a constant defined in the header file, that is the stdio.h. There are various functions provided by C standard library to read and write a file. Character in the form of fixed length. Then we are going to the next one, that is a writing a file. That is a writing file. Following is the simplest function to write individual characters to a screen, that is stream. Following is the simplest function to write individual characters to stream. Int f put c, that bracket starting int c comma file star fp. What is the file? Int f put c int c comma file star fp. The function f put c writes the character value of the argument c to the output stream referenced by fp. It returns the written character written on success, otherwise EOF. If there is an error, you can use the following functions to write a null terminated string to a stream. The function fputc writes the character value of the argument c to the output stream referenced by fp. Into fputs constant character star s file star fa function is closed and ended with semicolon. The function fputs write the string s to the output stream referenced by fp. It returns a non-negative value on success, otherwise EOF is returned in any any case and an error. You can use into fprintf function file star fp comma constant character star format function as well as to write a string into a file. You can attempt a directory files. If it does not, then before proceeding you must create an example file program. Include stdio.main function braces class if file capital FILE star f in small letters ended with semicolon fp equal to f open within braces started within a double quotation backslash tmp backslash test.txt within double quotation closed comma within double quotation w plus close ended with semicolon. What is the w plus? Based on a previous knowledge, we have a w plus open a text file for both reading and writing. It truncates the file to 0 length. If it exists, otherwise creates a file. If it does not exist, create both writing and writing files. Then you go to the fprintf fp within a double quotation. This is a testing for fprintf and so on backslash n within double quotation closed ended with semicolon. F puts within double quotation. This is a testing for inputs backslash n within a double quotation closed comma fa and function is closed with a double quotation. F close of fp. This function gives the sum. When the above code is completed, it creates a new file text.txt in a temp directory and writes 2 lines using 2 different functions. Reads the files and next to the section. Then you are going to the reading file. Reading a file. What is a reading file? Given below simple function to read a file string character, single character. Into f gets file star fa ended with semicolon. The f gets function reads a character from the input file referenced by fp. The written value is the character read, or in case any error, it returns eof. The function allows to reading a string from the stream. Character f gets s gets open bracket character star buffer comma int n file star fp bracket close ended with semicolon. The functions f gets reads up to n-1 characters from the input stream referenced by fp. It copies the reads the string into the buffer buf appending a null character to the terminate the string. If this function encounters a new line character backslash n or the end of the file eof before they have reached the maximum number of characters, then it returns any values in the character read to up to the point including the new line character. You can also use the int fscanf file star fa comma constant character star format function to read a strings file, but stop reading the encountering the file specifications. These are some fscanf f gets from reading and writing of files. F close f gets